Franco, good drive.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Franco Dinh Show. We are on episode 33.
Yeah, we made it to
Crazy.
33.
Yeah, it's been a while since we made one, I feel like.
Yeah, we have some gaps in here, but it gives us better content, I feel.
Yeah.
So with that said, usually we have a Franco update. Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, that's the hat. I'm going to a rodeo today for the first time. I'm excited. It's in Cave Creek. It's this place called Buffalo Chip.
Nice.
It's like pretty big there, and yeah, everyone knows about it. It's like a bar, and I think they have rodeo there. Yeah, so I'm excited. And I'm going with a group of girls. It's so hard to like get a group of girls together, which is so funny, like in their 30s, mid 30s, whatever. It took us like a month and a half to plan this. So the plan of making everyone's getting dressed up, like I had to buy this hat, which is a little too big. My head's so small.
It looks great.
But I also bought a little kid's hat because I usually wear like kids sunglasses, sometimes kids like baseball caps because they just don't fit me right. My head's so small. But this one looks okay. The little kid one, I looked like I don't know. It was just too small. The bird was small. I looked like it was meant for a toy or something like that.
Look like
but yeah, and then I went all over Facebook Marketplace. I probably went to 5 different like consignment secondhand stores to look for like boots. Yeah, but it's a love-hate relationship with me for Facebook Marketplace. Like, oh my gosh, so annoying.
But you found a pair.
Yes, found a pair, but hopefully they fit. Yesterday, I ended up picking them up yesterday, and they're nice boots, and I tried them on and they fit. And then yesterday evening, I tried to put them on again, and they were like kind of tough to put on. So kind of nervous. I just don't want to be like uncomfortable all night because those boots when they're tight, they're like super tight.
Yeah.
Especially
leather, man.
Yeah,
you gotta break that.
They're legit boots. And I asked my girlfriend lives in Texas actually and has cowboy boots. I was like, do you wear like long socks or like thin socks? I have no idea. I would think longer socks because I don't know, it just rubs on your calves and stuff like that. But she wears
when I was in the military, I always had big old long poofy socks. I would get as much between me and the boot as I could, and it would make your life a little bit better and your feet could breathe better.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know, it's another person's shoes. Like that's kind of not grossed out, but it's like kind of like I'm only gonna wear this outfit probably once. Like I don't wear cowboy boots or anything like that. So that's why I went on Facebook Marketplace to buy boots for, I don't know, less than $50.
It might be a new look for you. I think it'd be nice.
Terrible. I might keep this.
Yeah, it looks good.
Oh, thank you.
Anything else in the Franco update? Are you doing anything else this weekend?
Just work this. Yeah, that's about it.
Alrighty. Well, that moves us in the Cromford Report. Are you going to show us your screen? What do we got going on this time?
Yeah. Show it right quick. Hold on. All right.
Displayed. And I'll get my head out of the way.
All right. So we're at active listings at 29,000. So it's pretty much stabilized. Last month it was 30,000. So at a really not all-time high, but it's pretty high. And then we have, let's see, days on market to sales is 75 days. So it has slightly decreased, but it's still for the past, I don't know, half a year or whatever. It's been between 70 and 80.
Okay.
We have average sales to list price is 97.97 and a half list price to sales. So they're getting about their sales price, but we have seen a lot of price reductions actually.
Okay.
In homes. So that's kind of interesting to see that. But I think seller concessions are at 52% of sellers are contributing about $10,000 towards closing costs for buyers. So that's a good thing for buyers out there. We have the Cromford Market Index at 73, slight decrease from last month at 76.3 last month.
Okay.
All right. So did we go over this?
No, we may have. I'm not sure.
May 29th, so it's been a while. This is a month. Wow. A week. So we have Fountain Hills still on top at 120, Cromford Market Index. And then we have Chandler and Avondale. Those three are in seller's market right now, with Chandler and Avondale being pretty close to a balanced market because a balanced market is at 110.
Okay.
So we have Paradise Valley, Glendale, Phoenix, Gilbert, Scottsdale, Mesa, Tempe, Cave Creek, all in a balanced market. And then we have Peoria, Goodyear, Surprise, Queen Creek, Buckeye, Maricopa, all in a buyer's market
Nice.
right now. Yeah, so we have the biggest decrease in Scottsdale at 13%
Oh,
decrease from last month. That's a huge fall. And then we
yeah.
have Glendale, Phoenix, and Chandler with pretty big falls as well.
And then
And
staying
up
strong.
7%. So for sales prices, there has been a 1% increase, and that is unique given the overall market decline. But this is due to the sales of homes that are over 3 million. These properties in May have sold more than any other previous May, and conversely, fewer sales are happening in the 500,000 and less. So the imbalance is impacted the median price point. Price reductions, price cuts are moderating, and I suspect this is because sellers are finally getting the message that they have to price competitively, which we will get later in the episode. I'll show you how to just price competitively and how to hopefully sell your house quicker than normal. Seller concessions, I already talked about this. Buyers, 52% of sellers are contributing on average of $10,000 to buyers for seller concessions.
So, do you have some real estate seller tips for me?
Yeah, so I recently sold my client's house. We sold in 6 days, which is amazing in this
That is
market.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So the 3 things we really focused on was strategy, timing, and presentation.
Okay.
So strategy, this is obviously sellers are different, and my seller needed to make a certain amount because he was gonna purchase another home, but he just wanted to make out with a decent amount. But he's only owned it for a year and a half, which was the tricky part. So,
Okay.
like, appreciation, it wasn't working in his favor,
Okay.
like, we didn't appreciate that much within a year and a half. So, I knew what he wanted to make. We had to price competitively, given his home was a little different just because it was in a brand new gated community. We know that if you buy new construction homes, you're kind of buying at a premium because
Okay.
everything's new, right?
Yeah.
And it's gated, but it was in the middle of Scottsdale, which if you're in Scottsdale 85254, it's very rare to have like brand new construction in that area. If you're looking at newer construction, they're going to be on the outskirts. We knew we had like a great home and that we kind of marketed. We looked at comps and comps were running at about like low sevens, like
Okay.
720,
Mhm.
705 even. But we kind of priced competitively because we were like, okay, like who are we competing against? There was actually only one home, which was slightly larger, about 300 square feet. And we decided to list it at 750.
Okay.
He did like a bunch of stuff to it as well. And just to see what we would get. Because timing wise, which was the second thing we focused on, I know as a seller, you can't really time when you sell because when you sell, you have to sell, right? But
Yeah.
thankfully, he was very flexible in his timing because he had another, like, he was going to go in on a home with his girlfriend. So he had a place to stay once it sold, or he could like let it sit on market. He just needed a certain amount, right?
Mm.
So sometimes doesn't work for sellers, the timing, but for us, it worked. And we went on market a little bit earlier than expected just because the weather was amazing and we didn't want to go into like May when it would
Right.
get hot, which interestingly enough, like May,
Pretty nice.
yeah. Yeah, but timing wise for the buyer too, because we got like an amazing buyer that was looking to move. She was actually getting out of her rental by the end of June. So it just kind of worked out perfectly. And then presentation. Presentation, obviously, it's like how it's presented online, offline, but it's like target marketing, just if it's ready for photos, videos, how we show it online and stuff like that, or during showings in person, and all of that really, really matters. And so the timing wise, to go back to that, like it is amazing because our timing was just perfect because I was getting calls on our pending listing when it went under contract from other agents saying, like, hey, what price did you get it at? We're gonna go on market. It was the same layout as us. So like since we went on market and have been under contract, like 2 or 3 other homes with the same layout in the exact same community has been on market and they listed at what we were at 750 and they're still sitting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. and it's probably been 30 days for them since, yeah, we went under market and have sold. So our buyer was awesome. She was putting like a significant amount down. So we actually bypassed the appraisal as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was kind of nervous for the appraisal part because if you don't know, this is how appraisals work. Like it's a third party, unbiased. They go in and they look at the property, and if the property appraises below what they're paying for it, given the comps, I was kind of guessing it would go lower, but there's three things that could happen. One, if it appraises lower, so say 725 compared to 750, someone has to come up with that $25,000. So it's
Mm,
either seller goes down to 725, buyer pays that extra 25,000,
right.
or they meet somewhere in the middle. Or
Okay.
you can do like, gosh, what is it called? A reevaluation,
Mm,
where the I would go look at all the comps, justify why it's priced at 750, and then just have the appraisal company reevaluate it if our points are strong. And that probably happens like a probably small amount.
good.
Usually the appraisal is what it is. You could
Okay.
try to fight it, but usually it won't come back as that appraised value that you want. But anyways, yeah. So those are the three things I think everyone should focus on if you are selling right now. Price competitively, your strategy, your timing, and your presentation. All those three things matter. Hopefully this helps you out. And thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys next week.